Okay, gang, here we are. At 63 years old and seeing that we have all this technology here, I might come together and put together a story about my life. And not that it's anything special, but it's certainly special to me, and everybody's life is special to them. My life's truly been blessed, and I thank God for that. So maybe the first thing I'm going to sort of talk about is how I Shadow, my dog, wasn't mine. I was his, and I'm going to talk about Shadow. Again, I had a really blessed life, and God's looked after me like the whole time, but I pretty well became alcoholic my freshman year in college. I wound up graduating the bottom of my class, and I loved Berry College, and thank God that I loved people, and I learned about people. I didn't learn much about academics. I mean, I got a degree in psychology, and I don't know how to spell Freud. So anyhow, and then remember, I had become alcoholic, and there's another whole story about that. But I found myself, after I went to treatment at Hazleton and West Palm in Prescott, Arizona, and I'm sober for a while, and I'm sitting in an AA meeting, and I love AA. I mean, AA was great, and I heard about this girl and this other girl were talking, and she was a camp host at Granite Mountain, and she said, "Oh yeah, there's a black lab up there," and I heard that, and I went over there, and I kind of got some information, and that was on a Monday. So on Wednesday, I'm driving around. I'm not doing anything but going to AA and hanging out, taking people to roundups and stuff. I used to say in recovery, when I really need to talk to God, I kind of say a verbal prayer. So on this Wednesday, I go, "Hey God, you know, I've always sort of had dogs, and you know how much I love dogs. Maybe I'm ready to get another dog in my life, and I'll drive up there," and I go, "Hell, I don't even know whether he's up there, but I'll go up there and check it out." So I pull up there to the campground on Granite Mountain, and the camp host is right there. I didn't have to find her or anything. I said, "That lab still around?" And she goes, "Yeah, he's like 3 campsites up on the right." So I drive up there and park the car, and I look up there, and here's this lab, and it's like a mom and a dad right out there with them. I mean, a mom and a daughter. And I walk up there, and of course Shadow, he's barking at me and raising a little hell, and so I went up there and started petting him and stuff, and I'm paying attention to the mother and the daughter, and I'm looking at them, and the only thing they kind of told me is that he was a Florida dog, and they were driving back to Florida, and they had this little dog, and they had to get somebody to take this big dog because there wasn't room to take him across country. Kind of told me he was about 1.5 years old then, and when they're telling me this, Shadow, that was his name, that was the name they had given him, raised his leg and pissed on my leg.
She better not.
I didn't actually know what that was about till I asked some questions, and he I miss my dog, you know. He's been in heaven like 7 years. And he's really, really doing good. Kind of hanging out with my mom and my dad, so that's good. But regardless of it, I miss my dog. He's my like forever dog. I've had one black lab since him, and great dog, but Shadow's my forever dog. So, so I put him in the car, and we're driving around Prescott, Arizona. I'm showing my dog off. Yeah, look at my dog. I got my dog. What do you think of him? And I got back to the house late, and where I was renting was renting a room out of a house, and they had a dog. So I knew I couldn't take Shadow into the house, so I like stuff. So actually I had a tent in the garage, and I got that tent, and I know how to set up a tent, but somehow I couldn't set it up in the driveway. And so the dog inside, Chase, good dog, great dog, knew something was going on outside, and he started barking and woke up the landlord. I mean, woke up, I think his name was Jerry, that I was renting the room out of, and Jerry's upset at his dog, going, you know, what are you doing? And I kind of interact and say, no, it's my fault. I got a dog out here. And he goes, Heath, man, how can you do this to me, man? You know I got to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I said, man, I'm really sorry, and apologized. And I had 2 cots in the garage along with this tent. So I grabbed these 2 cots, and Shadow and I take off, and we go down this dirt road going towards this campground. And I decided it had to be a full moon that night, because I didn't have a flashlight. So we park and we walk into these woods. Man, you know, like Arizona probably has forests, right? Big old tall, beautiful, straight pine trees just going up there to heaven. And I took these 2 cots and I set them up side by side. So I get out wood, and he gets on the wood next to me, and I have